All right, let's dive into something we all struggle with every single day. I'm talking about the constant battle between what feels good right now and what's actually good for our future. It's a fight that happens in all these tiny little choices that honestly end up defining our entire lives.
Wow. Okay, let's just pause on that for a second. This quote really hits hard, doesn't it? It just lays out the stakes of our tiny, everyday habits so clearly. This isn't just about having more willpower. It's about realizing that the muscle you build by saying no to a cookie is the exact same muscle you need to build a business or save for retirement.
So how does this actually show up in our lives? Well, you've probably heard of that famous Marshmallow Test they did with kids, right? Well, guess what? We're all living in a grown-up version of that test, 24/7. Let's call it the modern Marshmallow Test.
That's the thing. It isn't some big, dramatic test you have to pass once. Nope. It's the choice to hit snooze just one more time. It's that impulse to grab your phone the second you feel bored. It's ordering takeout because you just don't feel like cooking. Every single one of those is a little marshmallow sitting right in front of you, waiting.
And what I love about this is how it breaks down that trade-off. Over on the left, you've got all the things that give you that immediate hit of comfort, instant gratification. And on the right, you have the stuff that actually builds the life you want, long-term gain. Pretty much every choice we make pushes us to one side or the other.
So why is it so ridiculously hard to resist that instant gratification path? I promise you, it's not a character flaw. It's all about your brain chemistry. Let's get into how your brain gets stuck in a loop that basically makes choosing the easy way out your default setting.
This right here is the absolute core of the problem. Your brain is basically a pattern-matching machine. And when you keep giving it these super easy, low-effort rewards, you're literally training it, like a puppy, to seek comfort and run away from anything that feels like hard work. You're teaching it to always take the path of least resistance. And this shows you exactly how that training program works. It's a simple 4-step loop. First, there's a trigger. You feel bored or stressed or tired. That leads to an action. You grab your phone, you get a snack, you know the drill. Then you get the reward, that little dopamine hit, that moment of relief. And here's the kicker, reinforcement. Your brain goes, hey, that worked, let's do that again next time. And that loop just gets stronger and stronger every time you run it.
And here's the really dangerous result of that loop. The more your brain gets hooked on that quick hit, the more daunting any real effort starts to feel. You know that big project you need to start? Suddenly it feels like climbing Mount Everest. Why? Because your brain's whole perception of what's hard has been completely warped by all the easy wins. Now, this isn't just some mental game we're talking about. This brain training has huge, real-world consequences. It comes with a seriously steep price tag. So let's get specific. Let's look at the high cost of always choosing now.
The key thing to see here is the domino effect. It's never just one choice. It starts with a little financial trouble from impulse buys. Then come the health issues from always choosing cravings over nutrition. All of this adds up to a pile of unmet goals because you never get to the deep work. And the final domino to fall? That chronic stress that just builds and builds when you know deep down you're not living the life you could be.
This chart just says it all, doesn't it? It shows exactly why this is such a tough choice to make. Look at the bars. In the moment, instant gratification feels amazing. That's the high bar. You get that rush of pleasure. But delaying it? Doing the hard thing? Yeah, in the short term, that feels kind of lousy. It's boring. It's uncomfortable.
But watch what happens when we flip to the long-term view. The bars completely reverse. All those little moments of feeling good right now, they add up to almost nothing in the long run. But those uncomfortable moments, those times you push through, they compound into massive, life-changing outcomes. Financial freedom, great health, big goals achieved. This right here is the entire trade-off.
Okay, so that's the problem. But what's the solution? How do we actually start choosing the path that leads to those big rewards? The answer is all about shifting our mindset. It's time to start embracing profitable discomfort.
Let's be super clear about what this term means. Profitable discomfort isn't about just suffering for the sake of it. No way. It's a strategy. It's about seeing that initial difficulty, the effort it takes to go to the gym or to save that money, not as a pain to be avoided, but as an investment in your future. It's discomfort that pays you back with interest.
And don't get it twisted. This is exactly how smart, successful people think. They get this math. They understand it deep down. They were willing to pay the small, temporary price of discomfort today because they know it unlocks those huge rewards tomorrow.
So really, it all boils down to this choice between two different operating systems for your brain. You've got the trained brain on the left, which is just reacting, always stuck in that comfort-seeking loop. And then you've got the strategic mind on the right, which is proactive. It willingly puts up with a little discomfort because it's playing the long game. The big question for all of us is, which mind are you building with your choices today?
And that brings us right here to the final most important thought. This isn't just theory, right? It's a call to action. So as you finish up with this and go about your day, I really want you to ask yourself this question. What is one tiny, modern marshmallow, one mindless social media scroll, one little impulse purchase, one moment of putting something off, that you're going to consciously say no to today, so you can say a much bigger yes to your future?